first.
Secretary Pete Hegseth. That's right. America's new defense secretary will arrive at the Pentagon this morning for his first full day of a work week. Hegseth's confirmation needed an assist from Vice President J.D. Vance after 3 Republican senators, including former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, voted no on confirming him as Secretary of Defense.
Very interesting. The Senate also confirming Kristi Noem as Secretary of Homeland Security over the weekend. And joining us now, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, great to have you on this morning. So we saw Hegseth and Noem take the oath this weekend, and now more Senate confirmation hearings are coming this week. As a member of the Senate Finance Committee, I know you'll be in on RFK Jr.'s first hearing on Wednesday. Do you expect this to be a fiery hearing at all, like what we've seen with some other nominees? And what do you want to hear from him?
Well, first of all, I hope not. I hope senators are respectful. From my standpoint, I'm a big supporter of RFK Jr. I've gotten to know him during COVID. I think he's very science-based. And, from my standpoint, I want to talk about how science has been corrupted. I want to talk about how these agencies have been captured and kind of what his game plan is in terms of restoring integrity to science and making these agencies far more transparent. I've written over 60 oversight letters on some aspect of our response to COVID. Really haven't gotten squat from the agencies. That's completely unacceptable, including Anthony Fauci's last 50 pages of his emails, which we've been asking to see unredacted for probably about 3 years. So that's completely unacceptable. So we need transparency. The information these agencies hold, these belong to the American people, and the American people ought to be able to see them. Bureaucrats ought not be able to hide that information from the American people.
Yeah, Senator, now obviously HHS is probably one of your prime targets for getting some DOGE efficiency going because it's full of waste. But then there's some Republicans who are really focused on RFK and the right to life issue. When you question him and your colleagues, where do you think the focus will be? Well,
first of all, in terms of right to life, RFK Jr. has told everybody that he is going to implement President Trump's policies. We're not going to be using taxpayer dollars to fund abortions anymore. I mean, all the policies that President Trump had in his first term, Bobby Kennedy will uphold as HHS secretary. So I think he's alleviated everybody's concern from that standpoint. But again, I'll go back. What is extremely popular with the American public is we want to know what is causing this explosion in chronic illness. Quite honestly, what's causing autism? We haven't even been able to ask those questions. So again, my knowledge of Bobby Kennedy is he's got a very open mind. He's very science-based. He just wants the truth. Also understanding that sometimes the truth is not that easy to discern. So I think he's going to bring in a completely open mind, and I think senators are going to see that in these hearings.
And we know that immigration and making America safe were top priorities for this administration. We're already seeing mass deportations. Tom Homan has been on the ground in some very blue cities over the weekend, making sure ICE can now do its job. Today will be Kristi Noem's first full work day as the new DHS secretary. How important is her role moving forward in keeping the president's promise to the American people to make this country safer?
Well, I'll obviously be a crucial role, but you just have to point out now that there are consequences to coming to this country illegally, as opposed to being incentivized to come here illegally under the Biden administration, you're going to see illegal immigration rates go way down. And that's a very good thing. Plus, Tom Homan is going to be dedicated to, rooting out the criminals, the gang members, the drug traffickers, the sex traffickers, out of our cities and get them out of the country or put them in jail. So again, that's just I'm so glad the administration is moving so swiftly and so strongly to secure our border and deport the people who are dangerous to our society.
Yeah, Senator, I want to go back to the Pete Hegseth confirmation vote on Friday night. It was not a surprise that your colleagues, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, voted no. They often buck the party. But former Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell also voting no. Do you think this might be a signal that he's thinking about hanging it up and not running for re-election?
No, so I don't want to delve into other people's motives. The good news here is Pete Hegseth was confirmed, and now we have a warrior. We've got a war fighter in charge of the Defense Department, and I think that will be inspiring to not only people inside the military now, but also to new recruits. I think we'll hopefully have a better chance of actually hitting our recruitment numbers now that we've got somebody who understands their concerns.
Absolutely. Senator Ron Johnson, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate you.
Have a great morning.